Welcome to Sports.com. Thanks for watching. I'm Michael Artsis. Pete Poon is holding down the fort as the wizard behind the curtain in our control room. And Gene Fugett is joining us via Skype from Baltimore, Maryland. Gene, thanks for joining us. Great to have you on. How you doing?
Hey, Mike, I'm doing great. Finally, the sun is shining in Baltimore, and I think everybody but myself is out playing golf today. How are you?
I'm excellent. The sun is shining here in New York, where we have the headquarters of Sports.com, and it's a beautiful day out. Now, the last time I spoke to you, asking you how you're doing, got you all riled up and going. Not a lot has changed in the situation with the NFL and the players. What has changed since we've last spoken is the fact that it seems like both sides haven't come together and maybe are further apart. The NFL commissioner even reaching out to players in an email saying you're going to ruin this league and almost blaming the players, and then the players taking to Twitter to make their responses. What do you feel about what's going on right now? What do you think is going on, and what do you hear as the latest?
Well, the retired players, we're part of the National Football League Players Association, and we're no longer a union, but we are an association, and we're all together to improve the plight of the existing players and also the players that built the game. The owners are not doing anything to try to save the game. Right now, they're trying to break this union, and they force the union into a corner by refusing to negotiate. By demanding a 20% pay cut is not negotiation. Everybody else is getting improvements in benefits. We are being asked to take a pay cut. So we don't have any negotiation clout with the owners. We can't make those 32 people do what we want to do. They control the game. They're the ones that own the teams, and they control the game. But what they're doing is illegal unless we agree to it. We will no longer agree to be part of an illegal pact to do things that are against the Sherman Antitrust Act. So as a result, on April 7th, there will be a hearing. And I expect, even if we don't get the enforcement of the lockout thrown out, I know in the long term that the owners will have to come to us with a new system on how the NFL will be run. The old system's dead. I don't know if we'll ever see salary caps again. The draft as we know it will probably be changed. The way rookies will get paid will be changed. And certainly the way that players are treated in terms of their medicals, in terms of the former players who are still having conditions that were not disclosed to us while we were playing. I hope all of that will be addressed before it's over. But Michael, it's going to be a while. I guarantee we're going to be talking about this for a while, you and I.
You know, a lot of reporters have been writing that they think this is going to go a long time. I initially said I thought at least till September. Now, I think it could be longer. I think other people think it could be longer, and the owners seem to be hunkering down. Do you? I know that last week you were really excited when we talked. You felt the players had won or were going to win at the end of the day. Do you still feel that way? And do you think that there's any
Absolutely. If
way
there's
to?
going to be pro football, it's going to be under much improved working conditions for the current players, and it's going to be include recognition and a payment to the players of the past. And that's no question. And it's just a question right now whether it's going to be these 32 NFL owners or we go a year with a lockout and then new owners in a new league exists. This could go well into next year. The owners have been planning for this for over 2 years. And I think it's disingenuous where they do pay cuts of their employees and stuff. It's a big PR campaign. They've been saving money for 2 years, and it wasn't until a couple of months ago, Michael, as you recall, they thought they were still going to get the TV money to finance our lockout. They thought they were going to do like they did the National Hockey League players, lock them out and then force them to terms. Well, that's not going to happen this time. And already there's talk of people trying to start another union. So we think they're going to wait and see until they try to give us a fair deal. That's the way it's always been. In our idea, we've never had a fair contract. And if it wasn't for the court, Michael, we wouldn't even have what we had today. We would never have free agency. I was one of the first free agents in 1975, and that was only because George Allen at the time was a renegade coach and signed me. Pete Rozelle was still trying to enforce a rule that was later found to be illegal. And we don't have free agency today. Franchise tag and all that, 6 and 4 years, when the average career is less than 4 years, guys don't really get a chance to make all they can make. You think Peyton Manning is making everything that he's worth? And obviously with his name on the lawsuit, the answer is no.
well, how could Peyton Manning make all that he's worth when there are guys making very similar salaries and they're not nearly as good as a guy like Peyton Manning? Now, the thing that bothers me the most about the whole situation is the fact that these teams, the owners, have looked at their employees who are so loyal and have worked so hard and are throwing them out like dish rags and saying, we don't care that you have families, we don't care that you have rent to pay, you've served us loyally, now get out. And oh, you could have your job back if there is a National Football League in September or October or November. And I think that that's atrocious, it's greedy, and it does show that the owners don't believe this is going to be resolved anytime soon. You do have a lot of legal wrangling that's going to happen here and take place. But if you look at history, I have not seen a league where the players have, where there's been a work stoppage and the players have really made markable differences by not playing. And then obviously this, again, is not the players' choice not to play here. The owners have put the situation forward and forth. But I've never seen a league, it didn't happen in Major League Baseball, it didn't happen in the NHL, didn't happen in the NBA.
Well, I beg to differ, Michael. It certainly happened in the National Football League. In 1974, we had the first strike, no freedom, no football. We didn't win the strike, but don't forget, every time we strike, we go to court. So we went to court, and because of that, we got the Rozelle rule knocked out, and I was able to start in Super Bowl 10 after the 1975 season, and the next year play for the Washington Redskins. So if that's not a significant improvement, and it had never been done before, that you could be on a Super Bowl team and be on another team the next season, like I did. Now, I don't have the year straight, but the next time we went on strike, we didn't win, then the Reggie Williams suit came. We won that, and then we got the free agency system that we had today. So we've always had to go to court along with and in the past, like I said, we went on strike. But we're not going on strike now. We want to work. We think that history and the law is on our side, and obviously the owners do not, and that's why they locked us out and refused to give us a fair deal.
So then I guess if you look at history, it looks favorably on the players of the NFL, and that you guys will eventually come out on top here or get what you need and what you want. Do you feel that this is part of the American spirit and the American way, is to fight for the workers, to fight for what the workers need, and to fight for, I mean, you started by saying that the whole thing is about getting better benefits and being taken care of better and not abusing the workers. Do you feel that, I mean, that's kind of America's culture. That's the whole point of a labor union, and
well,
that's
we've got,
America.
like
Other
said,
countries don't operate like
years
this.
of how capitalism can thrive when there's a healthy relationship between the owners and the employees. And I don't care if that's the corner store, the cleaners, and the guy who owns it, and the people who come in and work at the local gas station, or it's the largest Fortune 500 company. Look, I was the CEO of Beatrice International Foods, and we knew it wasn't our name. It was the people, every person in that company, that made the difference on whether it was going to be successful or not. So I think that enlightened management recognizes labor, and the management that we have today in the NFL is not only not enlightened, they're not even organized. They haven't agreed how to spread their own profits, and they're not willing to disclose to the world what they're really making and what they're really paying themselves, because if they did, this would be ended very soon. So I'm afraid that the only way we're going to get the information is through the courts, and we'll find out on April 7th where we stand with respect to that.
Do you think the owners will ever open their books?
Not unless a judge makes them.
I would agree. I would agree with you
Michael,
there.
we couldn't get our own medical records till 2006
But
because they were company records.
Opening.
They wouldn't even give us our own medical records. So you think they're going to let us know how much they're paying for their jets?
No way.
How much their kids are being paid?
No, this is what I was going to say.
No, they're not going to give us that.
This is what I was going to say, is that the opening their books, I understand where they're coming from. I understand what they're saying, and I understand that they're never going to open their books unless they're absolutely forced to. I'm not saying it's right. I understand why they wouldn't want to. Like you said, they don't want you to know how much they pay for their kids are on the payroll for, or how much they pay for their jets or anything like that, or how they move money around or whatever. But
all we'll say is remind all the fans that they canceled the deal. They did it 2 years ago. They said that the players are making too much money, but they'll give us no evidence on that point. So it's not even
Well,
up to
the thing
us. And
I don't
everybody
even
acts like it's up to us and we should be negotiating. Why should we be negotiating when they want to just take and not
I
give?
never understand
I
that
haven't heard
argument.
any give.
I never understand that argument from the owners because if you think you're paying too much, then don't. You're the ones who offer the guys the money. So if you think you're paying them too much, don't offer them so much. And then the other teams have to not offer them so much, or they'll go to other teams. But okay, fine, don't offer them so much. If you feel you can't afford it, don't offer them. But I think what I was going to say is I think you need to have your medical records no matter what. And I don't understand how they can withhold those from you in any way, shape, or form. What do you think happens next week? Do you think anything happens, or we're just sitting here waiting till
No, we're
April
sitting
7th?
here waiting until April 7th. And as time goes, a lot of the myths that are out there about the NFL and how the NFL can survive, people are going to start seeing through the myths. First of all, they said they couldn't survive without a salary cap, that all the teams would go crazy and be like the Yankees and spend all the money like the Yankees do in baseball. Well, look what happened last year. No salary cap. Salaries went down.
But Gene, what's even wrong with that? I mean, if a team spends all its money and has bad accounting, that's their problem. I don't
Well, it's
understand
nothing
why.
wrong as far as the players want. We would like a free market system
Right.
where a player, when his contract expires, that he could be free to go anywhere else, and then he could go, and if he's the best tight end, he can go play at whatever team. And if he's the 14th best tight end, then he gets the 14th best salary. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's the American way, and the owners have been against that for a long time.
Well, it seems like all they're trying to do is block you from having a free trade system and a free market value. And it seems like, as you said, the longer this goes on, the clearer it will become to the fans that the owners are greedy and overextending and being overzealous here. The question I have is, what do you say to the fans who are the ones who are
Hang in
getting hurt?
there. Hang in there. Look, Rome wasn't built in a day. And you got to remember the league's evolving. You remember back when I was playing, George Allen was trading draft choices, and the league didn't even keep track of it. They didn't even know he traded the same draft choice 2 or 3 times. So the league, I guess it takes a while for them to understand that all this information is out there. The public knows there's data. I mean, the New York Times, Time Magazine just had an article about all the data. As soon as you turn on your computer, everybody knows. Everybody knows that these 32 guys are rich, and we got 300 pregnant women that no longer have health coverage. I mean, everybody knows that.
It's a terrible situation. I think that it won't be resolved for a while, and I think you and I will be talking a lot about it. Although I would like to be talking about other things and hope that when this resolves itself, we will be.
Well, I tell you what, I'll be happy to do that. I want to thank all the fans who have supported both me and the teams I've played for over the years and supports the NFL players. We're not greedy. We want to play. We went to the courts and asked them to please let us come to work because we want to go to work. We want to get ready for next season, and we want to continue to entertain. But as far as the owner's concerned, we want a fair deal. So, Michael, if they have questions about this, they can always send questions. As you know, I am an attorney. I'm on the board of directors of the National Football League Player Association. And if they have any questions, Mike, they can send them to you, and we can answer them online if you like.
That would be great. I also want to invite them next week when we do this again. I want to invite them to call in. So next week we're going to invite people to call in. So get your questions ready. You can also reach us at info@sports.com. It's info@sports, sportce.com. That's info@sports.com. You can send your questions in. We'll answer them on air. In addition to that, we'll invite you to call in next week. And you can always reach us on Twitter at sports_media.com. That's at sports_media.com. I'm sorry, at sports_media on Twitter, at sports_media, and sports is SPORTCE. Gene, one last thing before you go. I want to give people the idea of what the average salary in the NFL is. I think fans think that the NFL players make millions and they make so much. Do you have offhand
No, I can get that answer for you, but it's I know the starting salary is in the it's in the 100,000s.
Yeah.
So most of the NFL players are not millionaires.
Right.
I can get you the answer to that. But the player reps are meeting at an undisclosed place in South Florida, and the next time we talk, I will be there at those meetings reporting live from the National Football League Player Association meeting, and then after that, the Retired Players Convention. So you'll be getting live reports only here.
I'm Michael Artsis. This is sports.com.